Good morning, welcome welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's there somewhere. So good morning. I had a mega sleep. I was really tired last night. We were watching, what were we watching? Oh, we started off by watching Lioness, the special ops kind of thing, but Gary got bored with that and said he's not going to watch it anymore. We've watched about 4 or 5 of those, maybe 6, I don't know. But he suddenly decided, that's it, you can watch it on your own from now. I'm not going to watch any more of these. He's not up for it. And it's all right. I can't say, wow, I love this show, but I'm invested now, so I'll carry on. I don't know if at one point I'll just ditch it myself, but at the moment I'm still, sorry, it was wipes. I wonder what that was down there. Yeah, I'm still kind of invested in it, so I'll carry on. But it's not the most, well, it's not the best one of those kind of shows I've ever seen. I don't know why. He says, is it because it's like got more women in it? And I said, well, no, because if you look back to all of the shows like Homeland, it's a woman, in 24, quite often the after Jack Bauer, there'd be a woman. You know, it's not like there's women that's kind of putting me off. It's just, I don't know. Can't quite put my finger on it. Something in the way it's made, perhaps. Not quite sure yet, but the jury's still out. I'm not giving up on it just yet. But yeah, we were watching that, and then we watched something else that I can't even remember because we were both tired. And in the end, I just said, you know what, I need to go to bed. So I kind of went to bed really early. Didn't get up really early either. So yeah, good sleep. And I think one thing I've noticed since I've been doing the low carb diet is that my sleep has improved so much since I started it. It's not all that's improved, but my sleep certainly has. While we were out the other day, someone tried to kind of not sell us on, but was saying, oh, I'm doing this diet, you should try it. And here's a leaflet. The person in this area's name to see is Gemma. So when I looked at it, it was called the 1-1 diet. And I thought, okay, this girl said she'd lost loads. So I took the leaflet and I thought, I'll find out. Just on cue, my stomach rumbled. I'll find out what this is all about. And apparently, it's basically they're selling you food and shakes. So it's, and I think it's kind of based on the Hay diet, which eventually became the Atkins diet, which eventually now is keto diet. And so what I'm on, but they're giving you shakes and food. I'm not sure if it's completely carbless or low carb, but I know it kind of, when I looked it up, it said something about Hay diet. Maybe wrong, but anyway, it costs you £2 something per meal. So I thought, no, that's really not for me. You know what I mean? I like doing something that doesn't cost any money. Gary says, you know, we're buying all this shopping, and so you told me it wouldn't be expensive. I said, well, yeah, but it's not as expensive as Slimming World because we're not buying all those other things. And 9 times out of 10 when we go shopping, it's not because we really need to. It's because you want to and you fancy something. So we go get it and then we get lots of other stuff. That's not really, it's not that you need it. It's just, it is, you know. Anyway, I find it really, really my niche in the terms of diet. But I think Gary's not doing so well. He's still not sleeping too well, and he's not lost as much as I thought he would. But you know, Gary has been finishing off things in the house that are slightly over the carb limit, or he's had a glass of vodka here and there, and so he's not done induction as well as I have. So I think that's really the reason why. I always find that when you're new to it and you first start, mishaps don't affect you quite as much, but they seem to be affecting Gary. But then, you know, I don't know that I've analysed everything he's eaten well enough. Gary's kind of into things like onion, you know, and he's been finishing off beetroots. They're kind of hard. They're not too bad, but they are higher in the initial stages of it. So that's probably why. So last night I was going to pick up a hook and I did plan to, until the tiredness took over and I really couldn't do it. I was just so beat, I couldn't. But I did go out into the yarn van and sorted a few things out. I put up a couple of new different yarns as well that I've been saying, oh well, I'll put those up, and I never have. So one is a Wendy yarn bundle, and that's not just over the pond, that's everywhere. That's very low price. And the other is some Sheepy's Crafter, yeah, I think it's just Crafter DK, and I had a few balls of each one, so I've put them up. There will be some more. I do need to put up a lot of hobbycraft yarn that I've built over the years to show people, and some that I've got in my stash that I don't really use, and it's still kind of in the bags, so I could put that up. And some that have long since discontinued, but it doesn't matter, they're still perfect, and can put them up. So those might find their way up soon. Now tomorrow I'm meant to do a course in the morning. I can't really remember the content of it. I know when they first approached me, if I wanted to do it, I thought, well, that might be interesting, so I'll do that one. But I think I need to update my Zoom so that it'll work, otherwise it might not. It might just be watch it online and follow it. I don't know if you have to log in or not. I'll sort that out later. But that'll be in the morning, so my chat in the morning may either be late or early or not at all, whichever. That's if I can remember that I've actually got a course, that is, and I don't just steam ahead with, you know what I'm like. The other day, I did something. I went into the bedroom and I specifically went to do something, and I forgot about it, come out, and then ages later I was like, oh my God. And I keep doing that online. I get online to do something and I get distracted, and that's it, I've forgotten about it. And that happens all the time. I just get so distracted with my own wandering, and then that's it, I've forgotten what I actually was going to do in the first place until much later, and think, you didn't do that, did you? And sometimes it's well too late. Like maybe I was going to watch something on YouTube, or maybe I was going to join something, or maybe I was going to do a live, and I just get kind of distracted. I really need to hope that part of the brain fog clears up very soon. I used to have such a good memory, I really did. Not so much now. Speaking of which, I nearly forgot to do the joke. Now, I'm not sure I get this. I kind of do, but I don't know. Let's see what you think. Lincoln wanted to get his wife Lucy something nice for their 50th wedding anniversary, so he decided to buy her a cell phone. She was all excited and she loved her new phone, and he explained all the features. The next day, Lucy went shopping and her phone rang, and it was Lincoln. "Hi, honey," he said. "How'd you like your new phone?" She replied, "I just love it. It's so small and your voice is so clear as a bell. But only one thing I don't understand, though." "What's that?" he said. "How did you know I was in Walmart?" Is that because, I don't know, she just assumed you knew where she was? I don't know. It's left me like a head scratcher, I find that one. Do you get it? Is that what it is? She just assumed he knew where she was. Is that funny? I'm quite sure about that one. Some of them are like really, really funny, but I'm not sure about that one. If I've missed the point, then let me know in the comment section. For once, I didn't call it a description box. How about that? Things are improving after all. Got to go out soon. Gary needs to pop out and get some new work boots. His last ones fell apart and he's at work tomorrow, so we need to pop out and get some new work boots. Because it's right near where Poundland and B&M are. Sorry, my stomach's rumbling really loud. I will pop in there and just to see if they have any yarn. I've kind of been really disheartened. They've had the same yarn for years, both of them, and it's just the same yarn, and then some different yarn, but it's the same yarn they had before that they didn't have any of, and now they've got that one for a change. But they're all the same yarns that you've seen over and over and over again. Never do I go in there and think, oh, this is new. And when they do in Poundland have new yarn, it's not the same price. It's usually, oh, we'll do a 100-gram ball or a 200-gram ball, or we'll do some cotton and we'll charge you a £5 for it, where, you know, that's really not worth it. Thank you very much. You know, I could go. So, yeah. I've not been impressed by their so-called new yarns. And when it comes to B&M, they've just cut down on the range that they used to sell, and it's always the same whenever I go in there. Always the same. It's like they have no love for that department at all, and it might just end up being phased out because they're just not nurturing it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, there's kind of news that Wilko are going into administration, and I hope that somebody buys them out, because some time ago a much loved store in the UK went under because they didn't keep abreast of the times, and that was Woolworths. All of us Brits loved Woolworths, and it was kind of like one of those, in the beginning, a penny store, you know, like you all had over in the US. And it was a similar sort of thing, but obviously as time went by, it was no longer a penny store. But you could get anything in there. You could go in there and you could buy some yarn. You could go in there and buy baby clothes. You could go in there and buy some records. You could buy your pick and mix, which is what Gary loved it for. Especially at Christmas. It was full of pick and mix. And ordinary sweets as well. They sold tools. They sold, you know, things like, if you, oh, I need a time switch, you can go in there and get one. They just sold everything, you know. It was one of those places. And they always sold the top 40 or the top 20, and they might have got it down to top 20 in the end. But they always had a really good record department, and you could buy anything in there. You know, record cases, cassette recorders, coffee machines, anything you wanted, you could get in there. And it was a fantastic shop. But when the .com era erupted, they didn't go online. They didn't make the most of that, and so high street sales started to drop off and drop off and drop off, and they never really worked anymore. And so people stopped going to the high streets, and they didn't cotton on to the fact that we're missing a big trick, so they ended up going under. And we all miss, and everybody says every now and then, I really miss Woolworths. And that's true. And now I think it's going to be the same if Wilko doesn't get bought out. Not as much. It's not a long-standing, well-loved store like Woolies was. Woolies was everybody's go-to place. If you, oh no, I haven't bought so-and-so a present. Oh, I go in Woolies. And you could get something. There's always something in there. But makeup they sold in there as well. I think my sister used to work in there many years ago in Woolworths. But you could buy, it was just such a good store. And I think Wilko tried to emulate that in a way. But they are two stories of, you know, you can buy paint in there, or wallpaper, light fittings. You can buy new dinner service. You can buy yarn. You can buy stationery. You can buy weed killer. You know, you can just about buy anything in there. And their little pick and mix size crap. You know, it's nothing like it, you know. Nothing like Woolworths. You could buy roses and Quality Street pick and mix in there in Woolworths. So yeah, it's not the same, but it's kind of a similar line. And I just thought, wouldn't it be funny if the people that come in and bought those stores were Woolworths? Because they are still around. They went online. I don't know if they're still online, but they did. Which was a bit weird, because considering they missed out by not going online, that's where they ended up, as an online store, nothing like they were. And wouldn't it be funny if they were the ones that come in and bought them, and suddenly we saw Woolworths come back to High Street? That would be fantastic, but I don't think it will. It'd be my little fantasy. I'd like that. Anyway, enough about that. But yeah, they've gone into administration. That's what I was saying. So about the yarn, I didn't go in there to see if they had any yarn on offer. It's more in the high street. That's the thing with Wilko. They're not, you know, on these little business parks. Well, there might be some, but I don't think so. Mostly they've they've taken over big department stores, like the one that in our town used to be a co-op, and it was a great co-op. It was one of the best. So that's another one that's just kind of gone. Lots of department stores have gone, but co-ops were always great, and that one was fantastic because they had a brilliant makeup department and an absolutely amazing perfumery, and then downstairs they had the huge, massive toy shop, as well as everything else that go right upstairs. You could get beds and bedding and things like that, and curtains. So they had everything as well, and it's gone. You know, it's really sad. All of the absolutely brilliant shops from when I was younger are gone, and what's in its place now? You go in the high street, what do you see? Poundland, 99p store, some foreign food shop that's small, charity shops, the odd pet shop, a few banks, nothing, no reason to go to the high street. But, you know, when I first moved here and I'd go to Sittingbourne, there was at least 2 really good toy shops. There was a really good furniture shop. There was a Tesco's Home and Wear. There was a Hulbard's, was a really fantastic department store one end, and at the other end you had Boots department store. So you had 2 department stores. You had Woolworths, and the shops were great. It was great going to Sittingbourne to shop. Now, no, you wouldn't even dream of it. You'd go there if you needed to go in WH Smith's to get a magazine or something, but there's so little to attract you. There's a Greggs, you know, a phone shop, a few charity shops. It's awful. I don't bother going there anymore. And if I do, it's not. I can remember when it used to be a place to go, and I can remember seriously when we were young and we were getting stuff for when we had our first place together, me and my ex. We used to go there and we would come back with really good saucepans, you know, the new prestige ones that are around. And we would buy a few at a time and start putting them in a bottom drawer sort of thing. And you would do that because you could get that sort of stuff there. No, the supermarket, it's the only place you'll get any pots and pans or going in Wilko, but they're not those brands anymore. You have to go somewhere further afield for decent cookware and decent stuff. It's quite sad really what's happened to the high streets, but they did warn that with the advent of the internet, that's what would happen to high streets if they didn't invest. But to my mind, as soon as the high street started to wane, companies like Next, who I don't shop with anymore after the table, but they could have planted themselves in the high street, been a drawer, you know, that would have made people go there. But no, they go on business parks and I don't know. Anyway, enough about all that. One shop, hobbyrocks.co.uk, is constant and always there and always ready to service you with a smile. Yeah, so watch out for new yarns being added. God, I went off on a tangent on that one, didn't I? So a few things have been put up, and I'll continue to. And all I was going to say was I might look for some yarn while I'm out. I went off in one. Oh well. You like it sometimes when I babble away in the corner, or so you say. Anyway, this is my new shirt. It's not at all like the other one. It's weird because it fits, but it feels big. I guess it's meant to be baggy, but and unfortunately it does have those little ways of tying up the sleeve. But if I was to undo this, the sleeve only comes to here anyway. So, but I don't know. The jury's out. It's all right. It gives me something else to wear, and it fits and all that. But it's not as nice as my other green one. But it's got little colours in it here and there. But you know, I needed something to wear while I shrink. Hopefully I'm going to shrink beyond, you know, this, and it'll be too big. That's what I'm looking for. Mega thirsty, didn't bring a drink in, and I don't want to open that because it's kind of fizzy. I really just want a drink of water. So I think I might cut this short now. Now later on, I do have a book club one, and it's a really good one. It's a really, really nice one. Now the other, last week, or was it week before? I don't know, last time I did a book one, somebody put on there about my comments are so negative, maybe I should stop doing these reviews. So my reply was, maybe you should stop watching them. And then I also put underneath it, what good is a review if it's only ever positive and not honest? So that's, you know, I will continue to be honest in my reviews. If something is just a bit, I will say so. But having said that, this book is a good book and I really liked it. But this isn't I kind of do. Why I'm telling this is I didn't want anyone to think that that person had influenced me, because they haven't in the slightest. I'm not going to change. No. If I find something mega, I will say. If I think this is not this, you know, a designer has designed something that's just been designed 20 million times before, and they've reinvented the wheel, I will say so. I'm going to continue to be honest, because that's who I am. And if that person who, you know, bless your heart, you got your opinion, but at the end of the day, my channel, my rules, my opinion, I'll give it. Don't have to agree with it. Nobody does, you know. But that's kind of me. And anyway, so this book this afternoon, I advise you watch it. It's a really, really good book. Anyway, having said that, I now feel like they've influenced me. I haven't. Really haven't. I'll be back. I'm going to get off and upload this. It just so happens it was a good book. It wasn't my fault. You know, it just happened that way. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to go and feed this stomach because it's growling. And have a good day. Bye for now.